You've tuned in to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to good health, with Dr. Jansen and the wellness team from the Tree of Life Wellness Center in Seekonk, Mass. Call Dr. Jansen now with your health questions at 866-920-9455. 866-920-9455. The opinions expressed on Holistic Healthline are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers. The information is not intended to replace the advice of your medical practitioner. Now, your direct line to good health, Holistic Healthline.
And welcome to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health. I'm Jane Jansen with Peter Morrell and Dr. Wim Jansen. And we're here to help inform you what are some of the different things you can do to help keep your body healthy and well. And we try as much as possible to bring on expert guests who can, share the wealth of their information, not only with you guys, but with us.
Well, as good as we are, we don't know everything.
We like to learn a little bit of something.
Every now and then, we got to bring somebody in.
So we are so pleased to have with us today Michael Schwartz, who is an author, lecturer, and holistic nutritional consultant who is educated in the workings of the mind as it relates to the creation of our own personal physical reality, working with the universal principles. Michael was able to change the course of his life, leading to many benefits and experiences, including the founding of his natural supplements company, Michael's Naturopathic Programs, in 1984. Michael, welcome back to Holistic Healthline.
Good morning, and thank you for having me back. And I love your intro music. It's such a get up, a wake up, and be alive melody. It's a good way to start the day.
Absolutely.
Michael, a lot of people are call us up regularly asking about detoxing. And why do we do it? How do we do it? What are we trying to do with it?
Well, what's really interesting is that people don't realize, I don't think, that they really already have a detox system in place, because if they didn't, just by the basic normal metabolic aspects of the body, they would end up becoming toxic. As cells break down, toxins are released. So if they did not have a detox system, they would be dead. What supports the detox system are things like iron, zinc, manganese, molybdenum. These minerals are absolutely essential to make the detox system work appropriately and efficiently.
Like you say, people tend to not think about their own ability to detox, and some people go to extremes. You got people, I just think of things like colonics and that kind of thing. That seems to me extreme.
I would agree, and there's a universal teaching, talking about universal principles. The teaching says excess leads to rejection. And then what happens if you get so used to colonics, that's the only way you can evacuate your bowels. But that's not the only issue. The real concern is the fact that what's in the colon is not the main culprit. That's not necessarily everything that needs to be detoxified. It's the internal workings outside of the colon, of the intestinal tract, because if you think about it, the intestinal tract is one long tube. It opens at your head and empties at the back of you, and in between is one big sac to digest all your food. But the issue is all the detoxing has to take place on the outer side of the intestinal tract and on the inside of your skin, just to make it clear.
And so we're talking particularly like the liver and the kidneys, and as you said, the skin is a natural detox organ. And now, let's say people who want to lose weight, is detoxing helping this system to function better, helpful in weight loss?
Well, it depends on the products that you use. In other words, in our detox system, my Ultimate Detox and Cleanse, and it's rare that I like to talk about a product, but in this particular situation, I use, unlike most cleansers and detoxifiers in the industry, everybody bases their work on herbs. I do not. Herbs are fabulous, but herbs are the precursors of drugs. And the reality is your body requires vitamins and minerals to work effectively. So to deal with the fat, I actually use a product called Fat Metabolism Factors in our detox that actually has choline, inositol, methionine, lecithin, unsaturated fatty acids. Also to clean the liver wellness, choline, inositol, methionine. So what the goal here is to help the body break down the fat, because the way that the body works, that's where all the toxins, the really harmful toxins, are stored. Because the way, as you well know, when the toxins in your bloodstream get to your liver seeks to render them harmless. Liquid, gas, solid, get them out of the body real quick. What cannot be rendered harmless is almost automatically stored in the fat. So we go after where the toxins are stored because we don't want corrupted cells and toxins in the body at all, on any level, if we can help it.
What about the person, when you're talking using nutrients, what about the person that goes, well, I'm getting plenty of nutrients. I eat good and I take a multivitamin, so I get plenty of nutrients.
Yeah. Well, if you're overweight, if you have any kind of disruption, any kind of disharmony, any kind of anything, then whatever you're doing is inadequate for the task at hand. And what's amazing is that some people buy these low-potency supplements because they're convinced that they're going to get 100% utilization. Well, 100% of 1 milligram is just a waste of money, because in order for the body to come to balance and harmony, homeostasis, you need 25, 50, 100 milligrams of something to bring your body back to balance and harmony. So, and let us assume that you're eating a perfectly organic diet. No matter how clean the diet is, if you're doing grains and dairy, you're not going to get 100% of the uptake. As it is, all you really get out of the perfect diet is only 70% uptake. And based on today's society, today's social pressures, emotional conflicts, a healthy diet is not enough, and a low-potency vitamin is a waste of money.
Now, let me go to the other extremes. What about the people that are fasting?
Been there, done that. It depends. Actually, fasting is fabulous. However, you cannot fast if you're hypoglycemic. And if you're not sure if you're hypoglycemic, then I will tell you that if you wake up tired in the morning and you're irritable, insensitive, and you could kill somebody because they look at you cross-eyed, you're hypoglycemic. And also, if you're suffering from depression and headaches, well, those would be other symptoms, as well as running out of energy in the afternoon. So, being a hypoglycemic, no, you cannot, should not fast, not until you get that condition under control. But fasting is ideally the best cleansing, detoxing program that you can do. The catch-22 is it needs to be done with pure water. I'm a distilled water advocate, so the fasting, all the fasting we've ever done, we've done with distilled water. And you just don't eat anything. You know, there's a fabulous program out there called the Master Cleanse, which has maple syrup and lemon and cayenne. And yes, you will lose weight on it. However, from a true cleansing, fasting point of view, it has to be water only. And I prefer distilled water.
Now, is it true that people, when the toxins are being stored in their fat, that the body doesn't want to kind of go touch that fat because there's, a lot of toxins in there?
Well, on some levels you might say that. However, the body does, one, it's going to utilize those fat cells, which is one of the reasons why breast cancer, brain cancer, testicular cancer are all on the rise. No matter what they tell you on TV, which is a lie, it's all on the rise. Why? Because of the fatty cells and the multiplication process. So, but no, the body itself would use, if the body had all of the nutrients that it required, the body's own divine intelligence would sense that these cells are somewhat contaminated, corrupted, and don't belong in the body. And the body's immune system, and it would also use things like lecithin, choline, and inositol, and the amino acid methionine to reduce that to get the toxins out of the system. The body is smarter than we are.
Michael, we got to take a quick break, and when we get back, I want to talk a little about fertility. That there's a lot of younger people today are having major fertility issues, and how this potentially can benefit them as well. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health, and our special guest, Michael Schwartz. Back in a moment.
Keep on riding, riding on through. People all over the world, join hands, come on, start a love train.
Now back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to good health.
Para bailar la bamba, que necesito una poca de gracia, una poca de gracia para mi paz.
And welcome back to Holistic Healthline, your direct line to great health, and our special guest, Michael Schwartz, who is an author, lecturer, and holistic nutritional consultant and founder of Michael's naturopathic programs. And he's been around a long time. So
Pioneer.
Yeah. So he knows, he's got the scoop here. And again, we've seen a lot of women and even men having fertility issues, more so today than previously. What do you think's going on?
A couple of different things. One, first and foremost, malnutrition is at the top of the list, which is one of the reasons why I ended up creating two products way back when. My male and female reproductive factors are designed to provide the nutrients that the body requires to be in good health from a fertility point of view. There's also there's something going on that a lot of people are unaware of, and why this is another reason why GMO foods should be avoided at all cost. There's a thing called an epicite gene that's been introduced into some GMO foods. I think Monsanto and Dow bought the company that created it, and it's designed to create permanent sterility in men and women as well. And with women, the way that the gene works is that if sperm makes it into the vagina, the gene will hunt it down and kill it. And the reason for that is that there's a movement to depopulate humanity for the simple reason that we are running out of resources, and we've got to reduce the population. We can't feed everybody, which is what's going on. So that's one issue. The other issue is basically everyone who's eating these fast foods, processed foods, the 5 food groups, fast, frozen, junk, and crap. And so they're actually starving to death. In fact, I did a show on my own, my Unity FM radio show, a whole thing about malnutrition. There are, at least in our country, 1 out of every 8 people is malnourished. And so if you take a look at that and you break that down into the couples, oh my God, we're starving to death. We are the most overfed and undernourished nation on the planet.
I was going to say, you get a lot of people out there listening that are going, wait a minute, we're not malnourished, we're overweight. We got a, population that's, they tell us every day on the news we're overweight.
Well, yeah, because, look, you're eating all this sugar, and look at sugar from an energetic or symbolic point of view, a universal teachings point of view. It's an empty promise. It makes you feel good, it lifts your energy, it tastes good, and then you crash. There's nothing there. There's no nutrition. It's a false promise. And so what the body does is, because you're overeating, and I tell people I've never seen a fat person. What I see is people that are putting too much fuel into the tank and not running the equipment. So it's really, and I also think obesity is another way, again, looking at the way the liver works. You bring in all of these chemicals that people are eating in the junk food, frozen food, prepared foods. all of those chemicals, your body is overwhelmed. And so what your liver is doing is creating fat out of what you're eating to store the toxins. So, there's only one way to look at food, and that is it's either building you up or breaking you down. And that's how your choices should be made from a dietary point of view. Can you indulge in garbage? Yeah, 10% every now and then, just not every hour on the hour.
So if you have a couple that has been having some difficulty trying to conceive, is there suggestions that you would have for them to help prepare their body so that they have more success?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost is to change the diet. To really get into anything that's grown conventionally, you can find it grown organically. And that should be your first steps. The second steps, drink clean liquids. The less garbage you can bring into your body, the less toxins, the less chemicals, the better off you are. Last but not least, and probably the most important, is high-potency supplements to help the body. I mean, because the reality is everything that, all the vitamins and minerals are essential to help the body be in a position to be fertile. So take a look at things like that. And, some of the big things are like, zinc, pantothenic acid, folate, the B vitamins. All of those are essential to help the body, whether it's male or female. And actually, it's the male reproductive actually that system requires a little bit more nutrients than the female, interestingly enough, because we're building sperm. And it's interesting, there's another issue about infertility, and that is on some levels, what happens is that the immune system will attack the eggs and make them impenetrable so that the sperm cannot get into them. And the reasons for some of that are really more psychological than they are, or emotional than they are physiological.
And it also seems today that everybody is tired. They go to bed tired, they wake up tired, and then they drink 20 shots of coffee throughout the day to keep them going. Is the adrenal glands part of this process?
Oh, absolutely, because the adrenals, pituitary, and thyroid are all interconnected on the same channel, and they all deal with fertility. I mean, sometimes, you take a look at when a woman's cycle is out of whack, if you address those three issues, 9 times out of 10, the system will come back to a 28, 29-day cycle. And the best thing you can do for the adrenal glands are one of the nutrients I mentioned in the reproductives, and that's pantothenic acid. Pantothenic acid and vitamin C together build, or I won't say can't see build, but nurture your adrenal glands to help you withstand the stress of life. And that will help keep your fertility cycle and your ovulation cycle in proper clockwork fashion.
Not to mention just flat out stressful, life.
Yeah, oh my God. Because when the adrenals go, your blood pressure goes up, your immune system goes down, and the energy that you're talking about, that people are tired all the time, that's because of exhausted adrenals, and that's hypoglycemia.
Yeah.
Fix the adrenals, you fix hypoglycemia. Actually, if you fix the adrenals, you can change. I do a product. I actually did it for myself. I made it for myself after an iridology examination that one of my customers put me through. And I think it's a life changer. I've had people tell me they could feel the difference in 90 minutes.
Wow.
So pantothenic acid is a fabulous key.
If people want to know more information about Michael's naturopathic programs, is there a website or telephone number they can go to?
Both, actually. The website is the ideal, especially today. It's michaelshealth.com. Real simple. And there's all kinds of great educational literature there. All of my formulas are there. And one of the things we obviously, legally, we cannot talk about diseases or conditions. So one of the things I always tell people is stop thinking about your disease. Actually, stop giving it life. The more energy you put into the disease, the more you're holding on to it. So instead of looking at the disease, look at the system, organ, gland, function that's being affected by the disease, and that's where you concentrate your knowledge. That's where you concentrate your seeking to address how do I nourish my joints, my liver, my stomach, my muscles, whatever the case may be. Think to nourish the system, gland, organ function, and forget about the disease. Your body is divine. It will come back to balance and harmony, but you have to give it specifically what it requires in meaningful amounts.
Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope to talk to you again sometime soon.
I'm here. You got my number.
Okay.
Always available.
Have a wonderful
Thanks,
weekend.
Thanks, y'all, too. Take care and be well. God bless.
Bye-bye.